take this across to you, Jaya. Why are we still playing catch up with climate change? Why aren't we 5 steps ahead of the kind of crisis that we are seeing and the kind of infrastructure that is needed to deal with this sort of crisis?
Yeah, so, I think one thing is that this isn't a problem that has just come about overnight, right? It is basically cumulative bad decisions over many years that has led us to this place, and it's going to take quite a bit to undo it. The problem is known, right? The solutions are also known, but perhaps it merits reiteration. And why haven't we caught up with the problem is a good question. So I think one is this sprawling form of our cities. This is not just Bangalore or Chennai or any other place, but it's happening across cities. It is happening in India. It is happening globally, right? So when things start to recur at a certain pace, and when they start to proliferate, you have to kind of think about what are the underlying systems which are not working. And there are some systems which aren't working. One is our cities have sprawled in a way that new development largely has come up in areas with high recharge potential. So what is happening is when it rains and we get dumped with a certain amount, 60, 70 even in a city like Bangalore, the concretization is to an extent that there's no percolation capacity. The water has nowhere to go. There's no sort of drainage that is happening from natural systems. The second is that the infrastructure capabilities of cities, were designed way back in the 1950s, 60s, 70s. They're very old. They were not designed for the kind of events that we are seeing these days. So then what's happening is increasing precipitation, low draining capacities, and compromise due to concretization in all the wrong places. Infrastructure capacities, but also what is there presently is in poor maintenance. So when we talk about stormwater drains and waste management in our cities, it's in a bad shape. And then all of that leads to what you're seeing is waterlogging, basically. So that is the sort of, situation that we're saying. Why aren't we 5 steps ahead? It takes, a good bit of planning. It takes a good bit of resources that you will need to dedicate to this. It needs long-term thinking. So while you can bring in band-aid approaches, you can start to pump out water, do all of that. But in the long run, you really need sort of long-term solutions like, plan for upgradation of infrastructure, carrying capacities, developing climate action plans which are coherent with development plans. Development plans need to be updated. Master plans need to look at, environmental resource layers,
doing it,
carrying capacities.
Why aren't governments mulling over this when they know that such things are required? Is it too expensive? Is it too tedious? Is it too much of effort? I don't know what is stopping them from actually planning for the kind of crisis that we are seeing, and when we know that there are solutions and measures in place.
I think part of it also has to do with the fragmentation, right? If we just look at Bangalore's water cycle, and we had done a mapping of this and the kind of departments and who are the agencies responsible for this, right? There are about 25 different agencies managing Bangalore's and Karnataka's water cycle. Just think about it. The mandates are often fragmented or they overlap. And there isn't one entity which is supposed to look at, water risk, water security in the city. That is sort of the underlying problem, is this whole fragmentation that we have in our governance system. And that is something very hard to fix. So one department can easily say, this does not fall within my mandate. It is not my, work. And then so, you keep kicking the can down the road to some place where you don't kind of come up with the solutions you need. So this comprehensive approach, which we really need towards integrated water management in the city, for example, there are no takers, there are no keepers for that. There's no agency which can take that on and deliver on it. And that is the basic problem.
Okay, Anu, I'm going to come to you, but right now I'm joined by 2 callers from cities that have witnessed some extremely bad situations this monsoon season, Mumbai and New Delhi. Aasha is joining us from Mumbai. Aasha, good evening. Namaskar. Please go ahead.
You from flooded Mumbai. And you know what the government is doing? They are passing general resolutions how to give more money back to us. They're using our money for winning elections. They're sitting in Mantralaya. They're sitting here and there. BMC has got crores of money, but they're sitting on it. They're outsourcing everything. They're giving 3% generous allowance to the government people. They're getting all consultants to come in. You know what is happening, no? It is happening in Delhi. They're blaming the Delhi local people, but the government is sitting in the government what you call it, the new parliament. This is what is happening. You will pick the whole cabinet and dump them in the flooded waters, then they will understand what the poor are going through, what the children are going through, how people are dying in manholes. This is what is happening. And 100,000 trees are being felled. I am ashamed. Please don't vote for this government. Don't vote in Bombay. Don't vote in Delhi. Just stop voting for this government till it stops. I don't want the Prime Minister.
Yeah, Aasha ji, I absolutely understand. And I think, viewers who are listening to you, Aasha ji, will also relate to what you're saying. There is palpable frustration among all of us citizens as to the kind of civic infrastructure and the failure of it that we have to deal with every monsoon season. Thank you very much, Aasha ji, for calling us. Anil Sharma is joining us from the national capital. Anil ji, good evening. Namaskar. Please go ahead.
Good evening, Shreya. Actually, I was looking all over my TV, all the corners, if I could find Priyank Khadge or Brajesh Kadappa, who otherwise like to be on the television for very, very small things. Day after day, week after week, month after month, look at what the Karnataka government or the Delhi government, they are just trying to save themselves, absorb themselves from the corruption. Lower court, district court, higher court, Supreme Court, our money is being spent on court cases to absorb themselves from corruption instead of money being spent on the welfare of people. What can be single work after Arvind Kejriwal has come out from jail? What is he doing? Only trying to save himself or the party, not the people of Delhi. Look at
so what you're saying, Anil Sharma ji, is that money should be used in the welfare of the people and in strengthening the civic infrastructure in the national capital. Thank you very much for calling us, Anil Sharma ji, from New Delhi. Anu, you heard these callers. They are citizens of the country. They are frustrated, and these were just two callers, but they clearly represent most people in the country.